Finally! It's finally here! Lionsgate has officially announced the long-awaited sequel. And not only that, but we have the exact day of release. So get ready, because the world's last line of defense, the Expendables, are going to give new blood a whole new meaning. Stay with me until the end, as I have some really exciting news to share with you. Now, let's kick off with a short recap.
So who are you?
Operations Officer Drummer. You don't have to worry about church anymore.
Although most people think that the Expendables franchise is there just to pay homage to the old-school action movies of the 80s and 90s, such as Predator and Rambo: First Blood, it also helps to spotlight new talent to the genre. This franchise is way too important for the older action stars, so I don't think that fourth installment will be the last one. It seems like the critics have different opinions, but the fact is that these movies revived the mainstream careers of many of its cast members. Many of the older action stars would have been ignored by Hollywood without the Expendables, without a chance to show off their charm again. That'd be a shame, right? As a movie that presents passing the legacy between the two main characters, The Expendables 4 will be special for many reasons. The plot, cast, and especially the budget. Talking to Pop Culture, the actor Dolph Lundgren said that this movie will have a budget twice as big as the previous movie. Quote, "The budget is probably at least twice what the last one was, I think," said Lundgren. He went on to talk about what makes this movie different from the previous projects in the franchise. A lot of these action franchises today are based on superheroes, and they're for young viewers. Usually, in a big movie, you may have 3 or 4 leads. Even in Aquaman, you've got 4, maybe main characters. But here, you have half a dozen, or almost 10. In some of them, there have been 10 people. Anywhere you turn, there's somebody famous, so it's exciting as an actor. That's what makes a franchise special, added Lundgren, and I couldn't agree more. If there is one thing we need from the new movie, it is not to repeat the old mistakes. Just watch the third movie. Suitably gruesome sounding effects, villains are impaled on impressive-looking cutlery, throats are slit, people manage to get shot 1,000,000 times and yet never lose an ounce of blood, as if they're filled with air or Lucky Charms marshmallows. I mean, it's definitely a kid-friendly movie, but was that the point? Expendables 3 was kind of a transition, a movie from the older action movie fans to the current generation. We didn't really expect that, as we grew up on the hard R brutality its stars dished out in the previous movies. So I would say that PG-13 is an old man's sly jab at the toughness of young whippersnappers. The story follows Stallone again, as he hires a new, younger crew. Barney retires his old band of brothers because he thinks they've given enough to the Expendables. The target in the new mission is hitting that like button. No, really. It's Stonebanks, the guy he once thought he killed. Barney jumps on a suicide mission with his younger charges. The newbies are skilled not only in combat, but also in technology, something that Barney just doesn't understand. You know, those computer thingies. Well, anyway, the mission doesn't go so well, as the new kids manage to get kidnapped by Stonebanks, which leaves Barney only one option: to call his old team back into action. All in all, I can't say that the third movie was bad, no matter what the critics are saying. The Expendables 3 definitely sows the seeds for its own youthful reboot. The actions might be bloodless, but they'll definitely keep the film moving. Let's just hope that the new movie will have more of those Rocky 3 style montages of Stallone and company imparting expertise. Now, let's focus on what is coming next. Let's talk about Expendables 4's release date. The Expendables are back, and we couldn't be more excited to bring this star-studded, action-packed film to the big screen with Lionsgate, who have been with us since the inception of this franchise, said Jeffrey Greenstein, Millennium Media Present. We got the first teaser on CinemaCon last year, and just recently, the studio announced that the movie is set to be released on September 22nd, 2023. It's been almost a decade since the last movie was released, so the fourth installment definitely took a long time to happen. For the real fans, that was devastating. False starts, years of development hell, but the movie finally entered production in 2021. This release date, however, is a little bit tricky if we take in mind that it might face some stiff competition. As you may be aware, Warner Bros. Has also scheduled an unnamed DC movie to be released, and according to some media like Deadline, The Expendables 4 will be accompanied by 2 other releases of the studio in 2023. The Sebastian Maniscalco biopic, About My Father, with Robert De Niro, set for May 26th, and one more comedy set to be released in June, but we still don't have the official title. Okay, now that we've got that settled, let's talk about the cast. It's so much fun to bring these stars together for a no-holds-barred action film. The new film will raise the stakes and be the biggest, most badass adventure yet, said the president of acquisitions and co-productions for the Lionsgate Motion Picture Group, Jason Constantine. And you already know what to expect now. One thing you'll notice in this movie is that there aren't quite as many stars from the previous movies, but there is some fresh blood. As mentioned before, we got the first footage at the CinemaCon last year, and we were already aware of most of the cast members. Even before that, we knew that Stallone will be a central figure once again, and this is Barney Ross's last ride. And of course, his successor Jason Statham will return in the role of the former SAS soldier and Barney's closest friend, Lee Christmas. Alongside them, we'll see Dolph Lundgren again in the role of Gunnar Jensen and Randy Couture as Toll Road. But as I said, the new members actually took all the whole attention. Although they're not really action movie symbols, I think they would bring a lot of excitement to this movie and to the franchise in general. That's right, I'm talking about Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, the Godfather icon Andy Garcia, and Megan Fox. But if you're asking for martial arts, you'll get Tony Jaa and Iko Uwais. And personally, I think that the movie has driven anticipation to new levels by enlisting them. Uwais will probably smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell. Oh no, in all seriousness now, he'll probably be the most hands-on antagonist so far, which also adds a whole new element to the series. The cast is definitely spot on, and even Randy Couture is convinced of that, saying, obviously there are only 4 old Expendables characters left, and that's me and Dolph and Jason Statham and Sylvester Stallone. So we added a whole new influx of new people. 50 Cent, who I've worked with before and have a lot of respect for. Megan Fox, which was nice to meet somebody new. Andy Garcia, who I've been a big fan of forever and has done some amazing work in the film industry. So it was really fun to get to see him work and be around him. Anyway, the story will once again follow Barney Ross and his team of mercenaries going after an arms dealer who heads up a massive private army. The crew, alongside the new team members, will set out on another explosive and dangerous mission. More and less the same old things, with the difference that this will be a passing legacy movie, so the spotlight will be above Lee. We're not really sure if Barney will get killed or retire after this mission, but this is definitely the last adventure under his leadership. According to the critics, this is a very smart move, and probably the only one that will keep the franchise going even after this movie. And what about you? What do you think will be the main focus of this movie? Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.